few weeks ago, we had Joshua Mehenick in studio with us, talking to us about mounted games, and he is back. Josh, nice to have you back, Mehenick.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, so the last time we spoke to you, we were focusing on some of your events coming up, and the big one that was coming up was the Royal Welsh Show, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, how'd it go?
It went very well. We placed 5th out of 8 teams, so we were very happy with our outcome, and we beat the Southern Hemisphere. So with all the we beat the countries that came over and also rode borrowed ponies.
Right. How many? So just tell us a little bit about the mounted games before we we just tell, because I think mounted games has needed the coverage, needed exposure.
Yeah.
People want to know the difference between Gymkhana and so on. What is mounted games? Let's quickly grab that again.
All right. So mounted games is basically we play very similar to the old Gymkhana Buddha sports on our horses, and we play with barrels, flags, cones, and also bending, poles, mugs. So it's all maximum skills between pony and rider.
Right. So you're on a horse, and a lot of it's actually game orientated. I mean,
Very
it's quite
much
like
so.
sort of fun game.
Yeah. And we ride in teams. That's our main big competition. So it's a team of 5, and we run the race in a relay format.
Yeah. I'm taking it that you have to be a really good horse person.
Yeah, because what our games is, you have to be able to use your hands, so you can't really focus on trying to keep your horse together. You have to play the game, and the pony and you have to work together.
Yeah. Is it always a pony and not a horse?
Yeah, so we have a height restriction because we play teams and we're all running in a relay. We don't want to have any collisions between big horses and small horses. So we have a height restriction of 15 hands for safety.
Yeah. Is it one at a time?
So we run it as a team. So we have five riders on the field. 4 riders will ride the game at a time, and each team will have 1 rider go out at a time, and then you pass equipment and so on.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Sounds a little bit dangerous, actually.
Yeah, that's why we have height restrictions and all the safety regulations in place.
I mean, I think the most exposure that we see for this kind of thing is these rodeo shows where
No, not quite the same.
Not quite the same. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the Royal Welsh. How many countries end up participating? It's teams from all around the world?
Yeah, we had New Zealand, Australia, I believe we had Wales, Scotland, England, and then there was another local UK team, and we did really well. I was quite happy with the boys over there.
You had 5 athletes from South Africa,
yes,
2 of them from the Western Cape.
Yeah.
That's obviously quite a proud moment, like you say,
Very
for
much,
Western Cape. Yeah.
No, and they went over for 2 months to prep themselves over there, because the competition there is a lot bigger than here.
All right. Is that is that the type of thing that they do, getting 2 months in advance?
We try our best, especially we try and send at least 2 of our South African riders over to Europe to compete, because that's the main hub for mounted games.
And then when they get there, do they have people they stay with or host families?
So we have host families, and we exchange. If they ever were to come to South Africa, then we would also host them, and they would ride and help us grow our sport here.
That's amazing to hear about that sort of interaction, that cultural exchange.
Yeah, because we had 2 riders, Daniel Besson and Julia Sloan, and they went over and they've just finished competing on Tuesday. Yeah, so we were very, very proud of them.
Your next big one, we spoke about this last time as well, is what you call the Nations. This is in New Zealand. Just tell us a little bit about the Nations. Is that also multi-countries?
Yeah, it will be, but it's all the Southern Hemisphere countries. So there's Europeans, Worlds, and Nations. And we are not allowed to ride in Europeans, so it's all for the other countries that aren't in Europe. So we have our nations who compete against each other.
So I mean, when we talk about New Zealand, we're always thinking about the All Blacks. So
Yeah.
how good are they at mounted games?
No, they are decently good, and they're on their home turf, so they're riding their own ponies. And how it works is we're going to go over and borrow ponies. So we have never ridden or seen the ponies before we get there. We have 4 days.
Does that have an impact for you? I mean, you must surely you got these we often hear about I don't know, horse people, cowboys, having a relationship with the horse.
Yeah, that's what makes games so unique as well. Is we have to be able to ride a pony we've never met before.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel in Wales this year, and now this week, his pony pulled up sore, so he borrowed another pony and he'd never met it. And on the day he started competing, it was the first time he sat on the pony as well.
Really?
Yeah.
So how many athletes go?
So we have a team of 5 going over with a coach, and there's 1 or 2 mothers going over to obviously support their children.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we have a team of 5 going over.
So when you say there's moms going over to support, what are the age groups?
So we have a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, 19-year-old, and then myself who's 25, and then also a little bit later 20s as well.
Do you guys compete in age divisions, or
Not
is it
at
just?
So we do have, you have your under 14s. This is now international. We don't need to still grow our sport to introduce the lower age groups, but we do have under 14 overseas and under 17, and then it's opens, and then veterans. Once I think it's over 35 years old, then you can ride in veterans.
When you guys get there, how many days of competition do you have?
We have 3 days of competition. So the 2 days are to figure out where you're placing, and then on the last day you have your finals, which you get double points for generally, depending on the format of the show.
You got 4 days when you get there. 4 days. That was my next question. When you have a competition, or how do you get practice? Do you guys get together? I know last time you guys were here, you spoke about you're joining as a team and you practice together, and then you go back.
Yeah, so at the moment we have once a week we practice with our full team, and then it's up to each individual, because we're all over the Western Cape.
Yeah.
It's up to each individual rider to practice on their own as well. And like I said, we have our one rider, Daniel, who's going to be also coming to Nations. So he's been practicing that side in the UK.
So is it something that if I have a farm and I've got a horse, pony, under 15 hands, is it something that I can look on YouTube, for example, and learn a little bit about it and practice on my farm?
Yeah, you can search for the Mounted Games Association, and there's loads of videos on previous worlds, nations, all of it is online. I mean, I streamed the Royal Welsh on Facebook to watch the team,
That's great.
And they had a BBC channel as well.
So easy enough to get started if you are already, especially if you're already in the horse space, in the equestrian space, should I say? Yeah. So you can get into it, and it's easy enough to reach out to you and start. And people from in the world of equestrian is probably your easiest target market. Can join. Can they do both? Can they do Gymkhana and Mounted Games?
100%. Yeah. No, it's very. And it's also we don't try and overprice it. So we try and make it that anybody can join.
That's amazing.
From the rural areas, I mean, up country, not really up country, up in Aurora, up on the west coast, we're busy doing some development as well. And we have a show there, and they're trying to open a club there. And in Darling, we're opening a club as well. So we are trying to grow the sport as best we can. Well,
that's fantastic. Joshua, we're going to leave it at that. Good luck for the Nations.
Thank you very much.
We've got lots of photos and videos, and I know that you guys are always going to send more. So
we will do.
Yeah, we're super proud of you guys from Western Cape.
Yeah, I'm also very proud of the lads and ladies over there.
Great stuff.
Cool.
There we go, folks. Joshua Mehenick, Western Cape Equestrian Mounted Games, and they're competing shortly. They've just had huge success in Wales, and now they're going there. The next step is to New Zealand, where they can compete in what's called the Nations for the Southern Hemisphere teams. And of course, we're pretty sure they're going to come back with some medals. We'll see you after the break. Don't go away.